Hello, this is a recording of week 14, opening one of a major and then raises by partner, immediate raises in the suit by partner. Share my screen and away we go. So again, we're talking about major openers and times when partner raises immediately, like one spade, two spades, or one spade, three spades, or one heart, four hearts. We'll talk about other bids next week. So where are we? We spent 11 weeks on card play, and now we're started into bidding, and we've entered the swamp of bidding, and we will wade through it for many more weeks. When we finish week 24, of course, we'll go back to the beginning and do it all again because repetition is the key to learning. Reminder that bidding is a conversation. And what do we do in a conversation? Sometimes we tell partner something, sometimes we ask partner a question, and always we're listening to partner and we're listening to the opponents if they are entering the bidding. The goal of this conversation is very simple. Answer two questions. The best bidding advice I ever got was just think about these two questions during the auction. Number one, what suit do we want to play in, or maybe no trump? And number two, how high? Do we want to bid up to game, possibly to slam, or do we want to stop below game, which in bridge euphemism is called stopping in a part score? Usually one person knows the answers first, and that person must guide the partnership to the best contract. This is hugely important. If you know you have game, you can't make a bid that will allow partner to stop below game because you're the one who knows. Our priorities, if we have enough strength, are to play in four of a major. That's if we have an 8-card fit or longer. Absent that, we want to play in three no trump if we have all the suits stopped. And absent both of those, we're willing to play in five of a minor. And if we don't have enough strength, we'll stop lower than those levels. Usually, you need 25 or 26 points to make game in a major. That includes high card points and distribution. So length for the opener and shortness in the supporting hand. Three no trump usually requires 25 or 26 high card points. The length will still help you, but shortness does not. And for five of a minor, you usually need 29 points, high card points and distribution. That's one of the big reasons that we prefer playing in a major or no trump if we can. We score more points playing in a major or no trump for taking fewer tricks. Reminder of counting points when we're thinking about should we open the bidding. We want to know how strong our hand is, and point counting gives us an estimate of that. So opener counts high card points. High card points, we estimate an ace is worth 4, king 3, queen 2, jack 1. There's no exact science to this. Aces are probably worth a little more than this. Queens and jacks are probably worth a little less unless they match up with partners, aces and kings. Length will take tricks, particularly in your trump suit, also in side suits. But what we want to do is add a point for the fifth card in a suit, add another point for the sixth, another one for the seventh, and so on. We looked in the week when we talked about counting points at the value of having additional length, that additional length takes additional tricks. When you're thinking about opening in no trump, don't include length points, although you should have them in the back of your mind that this long suit might take tricks in no trump. But it's not the same as having a long trump suit where you're guaranteed that those last ones in the suit will be winners. Example, I count 4, 7, 10, 12 in high cards and 2 for length. It's a lovely 14-point hand. What are you promising when you open one of a major? You are absolutely promising at least 5 cards in the suit. We'll talk about that later. Super important. We're saying our hand is somewhere between 12 and 21 points. It's a very wide range. So we'll have to have a conversation with partner where we help partner understand where we lie in that range. If you have 22 or more points, you should open two clubs. It's a very rare bid. It says I have a monster hand, and there's a whole structure for bidding after a two club opener, which we'll talk about briefly in week 18. Here's an example hand. I always count points more than once. I like to look at combinations of cards. It's easier for me than adding them all up. So I see ace, king, king, and I think 10, and then I see another 7. So that's 17 plus 2 for length. It's a fabulous hand. Um, we'll open one spade. We're saying, partner, I have at least 5 spades, and I'm somewhere in the 12 to 21 range. Another example, ace, king, queen, jack, that's 10. 1 for length is 11. It's not enough strength to open one of a major, so we'll pass. It's a nice hand, nice suit, but we'll pass. Let's look at more examples. Remember, opening one of a major says 12 to 21 points and 5 or more cards in the suit. That plus shouldn't be there. I'll fix that. Let's look at this hand. I count 13 high card points, so it's enough strength to open. I have 5 spades. I'm going to open 1 spade. Really important. Length is everything when you're talking in your bidding conversation. Don't be blinded by the powerful club suit. It'll take some great tricks as a side suit, but the length in spades is more important. Here's another one. I count 5, 10, 14, and 3 for length is 17. Beautiful heart suit. I'm going to go ahead and open 1 heart. 4, 6, 8, 11, and 2 for length is 13. I'm going to open 1 spade with that hand. I'm promising 12 to 21 points and at least 5 cards in the suit. Again, length is wonderful. This 6-card spade suit, you'll take a couple, 3 tricks in that suit, even if partner has no honors in the suit. Why do we restrict to 5-card majors when we're making an opening bid? Well, remember that we get a game bonus if we bid and make 3 no trump, 4 of a major, 5 of a minor, and our priority is to play in 4 of a major if we can. And very simple answer to this question, promising 5 or more cards when you open a heart or a spade makes it much easier for you and partner to determine whether you have an 8-card fit. That's the reason for the restriction on 5-card majors. When we talk about opening a minor suit, 1 club or 1 diamond, we will not have this restriction. We will be willing to open minor suits that are shorter. Here's a great quote from Marty Bergen, who's a wonderful bridge writer focused on intermediates. The best bid in bridge is a raise of partners major. Why? Because again, we're trying to answer 2 questions, what suit and how high. And when you raise partners major, you've answered the question, what suit? And not only that, you've told partner the answer. You might have known the answer. When you raise, you're telling partner the answer. So let's look at the 3 types of what I would call direct raises of partner's major opener that we'll look at today. Suppose partner opens a heart and you have this hand. Well, I count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 high card points. I have 3 hearts, so I know we have at least an 8-card heart fit. I want to tell partner we have a fit, but I'm pretty minimal. I'll do that by bidding 2 hearts. We'll formalize this later. Here's a better hand for partner, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 high. You know you have a fit in hearts. In fact, you have a 9-card heart fit at least. So with when you know you have a fit, you can add shortness points. So I count this hand as 11 high card points and 1 for shortness. And I want to tell partner, we have a fit and I have a pretty good hand for you. So I'm going to bid not 2 hearts, but 3 hearts. And finally, this is a super fun situation. Partner has opened a heart. What do we know? We've got 5 hearts. We have at least 10 of them between us. We're very short in spades. Partner can probably take a number of tricks in our hand by roughing low spades over here, by leading them and trumping them over here. And we also know that unless partner has a really big hand, the opponents have decent hands. And the opponents probably have a fit in spades. So what we're going to do here is we want to tell partner, I have many of your suit, but I have a weak hand. And again, on the plus side, I have great shape, singleton or void. So what we're going to do with this hand is we're going to bid four hearts. It's a wonderful bid. It's called a weak freak. You might make four hearts, and they probably are going to make four spades. So make it hard for them to find the spade fit. Um, one heart, four hearts. If the next person wants to bid, wow, it's really hard to start bidding after four hearts. And if you have a strong supporting hand, we'll do something different. We'll talk about that next week. And the next pages, we'll talk about these three types of raises in more detail. But before we do that, remember that as responder, we also want to count points to estimate our hand strength. I think of it as dummy to be. If you have support for partner's suit in which they opened or in which they bid later in the auction, you're going to be dummy. And dummy gets to count high card points because high cards take tricks, but you also get to count shortness points because maybe declarer can ruff some small losing cards in your hand. So we'll add 1 point for a doubleton, 3 for a singleton, 4 for a void if we have four trumps, and even more if we have more trumps. Here's an example. I count 9 high card points. If partner opens one club, that's all this hand is worth, 9 points. But if partner opens a diamond or a heart or a spade, this hand becomes much more valuable. You can add 3 shortness points for the singleton and clubs, ending up at 12 points. The reason it's so much more valuable is partner probably has some little losing clubs. And once you know you have a fit in one of these other suits, partner will be able to ruff those little clubs in your hand and they won't be losers anymore. Often get the question, well, what do I do if I have a singleton queen? Do I count 2 for the queen and 3 for the singleton? No. My suggestion is you count either the high card points or the shortness, but not both. A singleton queen is not worth 5 points. Okay, the first raise we're going to talk about today is when we raise partners major from 1 to 2. We're promising 3 or more cards in the suit, so we know we have an 8-card fit, and we're promising 6 to 10 support points, high card points plus shortness. So it's what's called a weak raise or a simple raise. Partner opens one heart. This is the hand we looked at before. We know we have a heart fit. We want to tell partner that we can play in hearts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No shortness points. We will bid 2 hearts. We'll raise partners 1 heart opener to 2 hearts. What we're saying in English, every bid can be translated in English, is I have at least 3 hearts. So I know we have a fit of at least 8 cards, and now opener knows it too. And I have 6 to 10 support points. Well, what might happen after that? Typical auctions after your 2-heart bid. Partner opens a heart, you raise to 2. Partner might pass. Partner is saying, let's stop here. There's no chance for game. This is by far the most likely rebid by opener. You've said 6 to 10. Partner has to have a pretty decent hand to be thinking that you're in the 25 to 26 range. So most often partner's hand is weaker than that. Partner will just pass. At the other end of the spectrum, sometimes partner will bid 4 hearts. Partner will jump to game. Partner is saying, let's play in game. You told me we have a fit, and you told me you had at least 6 points, 6 to 10. I have a big hand. I've got 19 or more. So even if you have only 6, we're in the range to make game. And again, partner knew the answers, so you will pass. And sometimes partner is in between. Sometimes partner would bid 3 hearts. Well, what is partner saying in English? You've already agreed you have a heart fit. Partner didn't pass, but partner didn't have enough oomph to jump to game. Partner is saying, gosh, Depending on where you are in that 6 to 10 range, we might have game, we might not. So I'm asking you, if you're near the top of what you told me, go ahead and bid game. Otherwise, pass. One of the most important things in bidding is to remember the context. The context here is you told partner you have 6 to 10 points. This 7 is toward the bottom of the range, so you will pass. But if this hand had just a couple more points, then it has maybe 9 points, and it's not an outstanding hand, but in context, it's exactly what partner wants to see. Partner is saying if you're at the top of that range, go ahead and bid game, and you would. Sometimes we raise partner's major from 1 to 3, not from 1 to 2, but from 1 to 3. And when we make that bid, we're promising at least 4 cards in the suit and 11 or 12 support points. Suppose partner opens a heart. I count 4, 7, 9, I count 11 high. I know we have a fit, so I get 1 for shortness. I have 12 support points. It's a great hand. I'm going to bid 3 hearts. I'm saying I have at least 4 hearts and I have 11 or 12 support points. That means high card points plus shortness. The first part of this comment, having 4 or more, is actually really important for this bid because it's going to really help partner decide whether to go to game or whether to look for slam. 9 card fits play much more easily than 8 card fits. So we want to be able to tell partner that we have at least 4 of their suit. So I can hear you asking, well, what if I have only 3, but I have 11 or 12 support points? We'll talk about that next week. If you go to a bridge club with newer players, they're probably not going to pay attention to this 4 or more cards because they're just thinking, well, I'm stronger than a raise to 2, so I'll raise to 3. This is a really important habit to build. It'll come in really valuable later on, and we'll talk about it more next week. So typical auctions, you raise to 3 hearts. Opener might pass. Well, what's opener saying? They're saying, let's stop here, no chance for game. Well, you promised 11 or 12 points, so partner must be really minimal, right? Partner's opening bid promised at least 12. If they've got 13, they're going to be thinking maybe we have game. So they must have a very minimal opener. Much more often, partner will continue in bid game. Partner saying, let's play in 4 hearts. I'm really thrilled you have a good supporting hand. By far the most likely bid by opener. And there's some small chance if opener has a great hand, she might start looking for slam. If she's got on the order of 20 points, she might look for slam. And the third kind of bid we're going to look at today is raising partner's major from 1 all the way up to 4 immediately. This is a tremendously fun bid. It promises at least 5 cards in the suit. It says you're too weak to raise to 3. Remember, a raise to 3 would promise at least 4 cards in the suit and 11 or 12 support points. If you have really good shape, but a weak hand, too weak to bid 3, you jump to 4. It's a little counterintuitive, but it's wonderful. Suppose partner opens a spade and you have this hand that we looked at before. You have 5 card support. You have a singleton somewhere, so partner can ruff a bunch of stuff, but you're quite weak. So you jump to 4 hearts. You're saying, partner, I have at least 5 of your suit. I'm too weak to have bid 3. And I have a singleton or a void somewhere, so you can do a lot of roughing in my hand. This is called a weak freak hand and the weak freak bid. Almost all the time, partner will pass. It's hard to imagine she'd look for slam after you've said you're that weak. This bid is super fun and it's super useful. Often you'll make the 4 because partner can rough a bunch of things over here and the distribution really helps. And the times that you don't make 4, it probably means the opponents had pretty good hands and they probably had a makeable 4 spade game. And your jump stopped them from finding it. If it goes a heart, pass, 4 hearts, It's really hard for the next person to open the bidding, even with a good hand. And even if you go down one or two in your four hearts, you will score better than if they make a game in spades. So takes time to get used to, but it's a ton of fun. So let's review. Suppose partner opens a heart. You have 7 support points. You know you have a fit in hearts. You tell partner that by bidding 2 hearts. Partner, I have at least 3 cards in your suit. I have 6 to 10 support points. Give you a better hand. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 for shortness is 12. Hey, partner, we have a fit. I have a pretty good hand for you, at least 4 hearts, 11 to 12 support points. Let partner know by bidding not 2 hearts, but 3 hearts. If you bid 2 hearts with this hand, partner's likely to pass with a decent hand. And you actually want to get all the way to game. So you have to let partner know what you have. And then the last hand that we looked at is the weak freak. I have at least 5 of your suit. I have a singleton or void somewhere. I'm too weak to bid 2 or 3. So I'm going to jump to 4 hearts. Wonderful bid. You might make 4 hearts. The opponents can probably make 4 spades. Let's make it hard for them to find their contract. And next week, we'll talk about 2 things. What do you do with a hand that's even stronger than these, where you have support? And what do you do with the hand that has 11 or 12 support points, but only 3 card support? So you can't jump to 3. We'll talk about those next week. Here's the 10% to remember. Opening a spade or a heart promises at least 5 cards and 12 to 21 points, high card points plus distribution. The 5-card restriction for a major suit bid is super important because it helps us find 8-card fits. Later, we'll talk about how in minor suits, we can open with a shorter suit. Doesn't have to be 5 cards, only for a heart or a spade. Responder does one of a few things, makes a simple raise to the 2 level. For some reason, the raise to the 3 level is called a limit raise. It's kind of a silly name, but I thought I should put it in here. And the responder might do a weak freak jump raise to the 4 level. What do these bids say? 2 spades says I have at least 3 card support, 6 to 10 support points. The jump to 3 says I have at least 4 of your suit and 11 or 12 support points. And the last one, a super fun bid. I have at least 5 of your suit. I have a singleton or void, so you're going to be able to ruff a lot of stuff over here. And I'm too weak to have jumped to the 3 level. So let's make it hard for the opponents to bid. This is called a weak freak. And next week, we'll talk about what do you do when you don't have 3-card support or longer for your partner? What do you do when you have the troublesome hand, 11 to 12, but only 3 cards in support? And what do you do when you have support and your hand is strong enough that you know you need to get to game? You can't jump to game immediately because that would be the weak freak bid. So we're going to have to take a little more circuitous route in the auction to get there. Preview of next week, suppose partner opens a heart, and here are some hands that don't fit what we discussed today. You have only 2 hearts, so you don't know whether you have an 8-card fit. You might, but you don't know for sure. You have 7 high card points, so you need to say something. Partner could have 20, and we want to keep the bidding open so partner can tell us if they're that strong. What will we do? We don't have 3 hearts. We can't raise them, so we'll bid 1 spade. We'll just show our 4-card spade suit. Here's another example. Still 7 high card points. We have to say something. What we're going to do, we can't raise hearts. We only have 2 of them. We're going to bid 1 no trump. We'll talk about that in some detail. The 1 no trump response is incredibly different than a 1 no trump opening bid. A 1 no trump response says, I have 6 to 9 high card points. I can't raise your suit, and there's nothing I can bid at the 1 level. Notice the difference between these two hands. Same high card point strength, same support for the heart suit or lack thereof. In the first case, you could bid one spade at the one level, but in this case, you'd have to go to the two level to bid diamonds. We're going to learn that that requires a lot more points because you're getting up higher. And final hand, 4, 6, 8, 11 high card points. Aha, we have a fit in hearts. So I can count one for shortness, 12 points in support. Yay. But I don't have four card support. So according to my preferences, you can't raise to three hearts. So what we'll do is we'll start the bidding slow. We'll bid a spade. And then later we will jump in the heart suit. And partner will say, what the heck? And then partner will say, oh, didn't support me immediately, jumping now. They have a pretty good hand that didn't fall into one of the other categories. And that's pretty much the story. I did want to talk briefly about opening hands in one of a major that are sometimes confusing to people. If you have two five card or longer major suits that are the same length, start with the higher ranking one. So with this hand, we'll open one spade. Why? Don't get blinded by the heart strength. You want to start with spades. Partner will probably say something. And then you'll bid your hearts, and partner will probably say something. And then you bid your hearts again. And partner will get the message that, oh, you have at least five spades, and you also have a lot of hearts. With a six cards in each suit, start with a spade first. Partner will figure things out later in the auction. Remember, the bidding is a conversation. And you'll say, at least five spades. Hey, I've also got hearts. Hey, I've got a ton of hearts. And partner will figure out what to do. Sometimes you have two majors that are long enough to open, but they're different length. So one is six cards, one is five cards. Just open the longer one. So in this case, open a heart, and in this case, open a spade. Why do we do that? Don't be swayed by the strength. The length is super important. Helping partner understand your length is super important for guiding the two of you to the right contract. And trust me, starting with the longer suit makes it easier to find the right contract. So today we'll play in the coaches' rooms and we'll have fun. And that's that. Thank you all. I can't find the stop recording. There we go.